Hello everyone, Moshe the Electric Israeli on FSD. Thank you for joining. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe and help me change the world one electric car at a time. Thank you for my supporters. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. The best way to help me out, and you can help me of course on Patreon as well. There is a heat wave in the United States, as you know, if you live almost anywhere. Tornadoes and hurricanes and crazy weather. And there is like a lot of myth of that electric cars don't do as very well in the heat. No car does very well in the heat. You need a lot of energy to move and to cool a car. By the way, in the winter it's no difference to move. But electric cars have advantages that regular cars, gasoline cars don't. Okay, so first of all, if any modern cars, definitely the Teslas, any modern electric cars and Teslas as well, you have an app. And pre-conditioning the car, pre-cooling the car in the heat wave is very important to begin with, but it's doubly important if it's plugged, because it will take electricity directly from the wall and not from your car. Here's an example. If your car is 95 degrees, the heat is 95 because it's so hot. From 95 degrees to 70 degrees, will take 3 to 5 kilowatt hour of energy, a lot of energy. From 70 degrees and below, it will take maybe 1 kilowatt. Now that is important, and you can do it even if your car is not plugged in. But imagine if it plugged in, it will not drain your battery itself. Speaking of battery, it is very important if you for at work, where I work, there are electric car chargers, so I always charge my car. But if you work in a place that there is no chargers and your car sits in the oppressive heat for 9 hours, 10 hours, 8 hours, whatever, 7, however many hours, it is very important that the battery is fully charged, or 80% depending on the kind of battery, because it will need to manage and cool the battery. The battery management is very advanced nowadays with electric cars, and they require a lot of energy. So you need to have some spare to spend on the car. If the car gets to 20%, it will not do anything anymore. At least with Teslas. I'm not sure about other cars, but if it gets to 20%, if you have like your cameras, your Sentry mode on your Teslas, it will just stop. So it's very important that you have it as charged as possible, so we can have spare power to manage the battery. Now, all this information comes from the great website Recurrent, which I love. I list all my cars are listed there, and I get the battery health of my cars on a monthly basis, a report, or I can go on it every day if I want. So you can see that the 20-30% range loss takes place at 95 degrees and up. That's why preconditioning the car, really good, like 20 minutes, half hour if you want, especially if it's plugged in, and coming into a nice cold car, then you're not going to need so much air conditioning to finish there. I just came from the pool. I preconditioned it 20 minutes before I come. It's all cool. I don't have to blast it on speed fin 10 level at all. So so keep the battery charged. Plug it in as much as possible. If you go away, when I fly on short vacations, if I go for 2 or 3 days, I always leave my car in the airport, because an Uber will cost me $100 and parking it there will cost me also $100. So might as well use my own car. I love it. I don't have to wait for anybody. I don't have to ride with anybody. So that's great. So if you park it, if you can leave it plugged in, that is fantastic. And if you can leave it in the garage, inside the garage, okay, not outdoors, indoors, under a roof in the shade, that's great. Anything you can do, even if you leave it for more days and you have no choice, if you have a covered anything to give shade to the car, it is a really fantastic. So I think that preconditioning the car, by the way, in the winter as well, preconditioning the car and putting your navigation, if you have Teslas, putting your navigation to a supercharger preconditions the car. So anything that you do to pre-cool it while it's plugged in will give you a much nicer ride and will conserve your battery. And if you can do that, have your battery charged at the beginning of the day to full, so there's enough energy to give the car the power to do battery management, cooling management. By the way, it's true in the winter as well. Okay, so don't let anybody fool you. Electric cars are awesome in the winter and in the summer. And in order to fight this tremendous crazy weather, everybody should drive an electric car and we pollute much, much, much less. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next video.